Happy Monday. It's another day. Today's a little bit different. I have a different scenery. I'm in my bedroom. I'm actually with my daughter today. She was not feeling well last night. She had fever, and so yeah, she's gonna stay home with me. We have some doctor's appointments to go to and things that we gotta do. But I really wanted to get this word in because I was reading this morning. I'll be honest, I almost didn't want to get up at all today because I woke up so many times with her, and today's going to be a long day. We have a lot of activities and things that we have to do. And I was like, do I just stay in bed? Do I, get up? And so I decided to get up and read my Bible, spend time with God, because if there's one thing that I've learned is that I really enjoy getting up and having a quiet morning with the Lord. I feel like that fills me up so much so that I can go through my day and have the patience that I need, the strength that I need, the power that I need to get through, especially on hard days like today. So I did not work out. I was like, okay, well, it is what it is. I am just going to spend time with God and we'll get through the day. But the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I see how many people are, watching my videos, and I just want to thank you guys for being here. I know there's a lot of you that are watching and have not subscribed. Please subscribe. It really helps my channel so much, and it helps to spread the word of the Lord and spread encouragement and positivity. For all of you that are sharing my videos, I really thank you for doing that. But yeah, subscribe, comment. It really does help me. And I was very humbled this weekend. I just was very grateful to the Lord this weekend because one of you decided to sow into this ministry. And it literally made me think of, I don't want to get emotional, but it made me think of how the Israelites, how when they were in the wilderness, they felt like, they were hungry and they didn't know how they were going to get fed. They had been, walking through the wilderness for years and stuff. And, they would complain and they would grumble and they would, say why have you brought us out here, Lord? In Egypt, at least we had meals and, all of that, right? And it made me think of how God ended up bringing them manna. It was literally like bread, food from the heavens that would just show up every morning and they would have something to eat. And this weekend, when I received an email from one of you saying that you wanted to sow into this ministry, I was like, wow, Lord, the fact that you stirred up the heart of somebody that wants to do this is amazing. I don't deserve it. I am not worthy, but Lord, whatever it is that you want to do, I give you this channel. I give you everything, all of my desires, my ambitions, my goals. I give them to you, and I've surrendered this channel multiple times to him. And I do it daily because none of it do I want it to be about me. I want it to be as a vessel for us to talk about God and for us to be together and have fellowship. And on Saturday, I woke up to an email of what this person sowed into this ministry. And it literally brought me to my knees. It brought me to my knees, and I was just like praise God. Praise God. All I could do was get on my knees. I put on worship music and I just started singing and crying because it literally felt like manna. It felt like God had rained this provision from the heavens. I don't know how to describe it, but I wanted to say that I'm grateful, for every one of you that listens to these videos. The fact that it stirs up something in you is all that I need. I don't need any monetary things. That's not why I do this. I know the Lord will provide, But the fact that somebody did that was just amazing. And it just reminded me of like, it was confirmation of why I do this, the fact that it's speaking to people. And so, yeah, like I say all that just to thank you and to say, like, keep pushing forward. I would not be here had I not taken the first step and said yes to God, and yes to the fact that I was going to do something like this, like speak on YouTube about my faith, to encourage other people that my voice matters, that God is giving you a vision and a word, and he's giving you promises for a reason. Whatever that looks like in your life, like, you have to pursue it. And that kind of goes into today's video, because I was in Joshua this morning, and I already, like, this is how I approach the Bible, okay? Every time I'm going to read, not only do I go in it wanting to know more of God's character, like, I'm like, I want to know more of you, God. I desire to know your word, but I also desire, and I'm expectant that the Lord will speak to me. And I feel like God knows my heart, and he knows your heart too. And if you go into reading the Bible in that manner, like, he will speak to you. Like, I have never felt so close to God than when I am in my word expectant. Like, I have that tiny bit of faith that he will speak, and he speaks. Like, I am nobody special, or, you know, I'm a girl who desires to be in relationship with the Lord. And if you come to him in the same manner, he will speak to you. And you have to be still. You have to be quiet. And that is hard for all of us. Like, that is hard for all of us. The only reason the reason that I get up early to read is because it's probably one of the few times in my day where I actually get to have quiet. I am a busy mom. I have 3 children. Like, right now, my daughter's literally in the other room eating. I made her breakfast, and I was like, baby, just give me a couple of minutes, because I really wanted to share this, because we all struggle with this, with the fact that, like, we need some stillness, we need to be quiet in order to be able to hear the Lord speak. Too many times we are so distracted, not only by the world, but just by our thoughts. Oh my gosh, that was my stomach. But just by our thoughts. We are so loud that we don't get to hear God speak, because we're talking over him. We're like, no, we know better. Go, go, go. And that's exactly what the scripture was about this morning. So Joshua is now going to be the leader, right? Moses has died. Joshua is like the next that is going to be a great leader, right? He's going to lead the Israelites into the promised land. And they're right there at the entrance. And so the Lord is now like talking to him, giving him instruction, and telling him, you know, you're going to get like 12 men. They were going to be like the one representative of each of the 12 tribes. And they're going to carry the Ark of the Covenant, and they're going to walk across the Jordan River. And I will part the waters. Like, he literally says, like, you guys take the step, and he will part the waters to where it looks like a wall of water. Okay. Now, if you remember, he's already done this in the past. He did that in the Red Sea, I think it is, years before. This is a new generation. This is a new, like, generation of people that have only heard the stories, but never have seen the miracles the way that the Israelites had in the past. They have heard of the story about God and the water, right? But now they are literally going to be the ones that are going to be able to see this. And all they needed to have is just a little bit of faith. And so I wrote, just before crossing into the promised land, Joshua gathered the people to hear the words of the Lord. The people were excited, and surely they wanted to take actions, but Joshua wanted them to stop and listen. So when I wrote this, it's like he's about to tell them what to do, but what is that noise? I think that's my bed. He's about to tell them what to do, but he's like, wait stop before you try to go and take action, before you go try to run across the river and like get to the promised land. Like, yes, the promised land is exciting. Yes, the promise, the vision that God has given you is exciting. I know you're excited, but you also need to stop, wait, and listen for the Lord, because he's going to give you instruction. Like, how many times have we thought, oh, I have this word or this vision from God, and then we're like, go, 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 right? Okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and you're taking every day with all the things you got to do, and again, you're rushing and you're like going, that you forget that God is giving you instruction. You forget that he wants you to rest in him. You forget that he's the one that's leading you. He's the one that's giving you vision. How can you have vision if you're not willing to see? And so I put on here, don't get caught up in the tasks that you're too busy to listen to God's words. So my encouragement for you today is like, whatever it is that God is calling you to do, you have a God-given assignment. You have something in your heart that you want to do. You just need to also remember in the moment to take the steps to do it slowly and to take time to allow God to speak to you. Sorry, I had to stop because my daughter came. But yeah, so it's like, don't get caught up in the tasks. Don't get caught up. Like, sometimes we're like, oh, the world is so distracting. It is. There's distractions like social media. There's distractions like other people. There's distractions like your favorite football team. There's distractions, right? But sometimes you are the one that are causing the distraction. You are the one that's like on your to-do list. You have this stuff that you got to do. You're so busy that you forget to take moments to stop and listen to God. So the things that are distracting you is you. Like, it's your own words. You are too loud that you cannot hear the voice of God. You cannot hear what his instructions are. And so I put on here, before starting your to-dos, pause and focus on listening to God and see what he wants for you. This is something that I struggle with. Like, this is something that, like, literally in these last few days, I have, and actually I want to say in the past couple of weeks, because I've mentioned in a video about how I wanted to do this. I wanted to start this small group for women. And then I've been posting YouTube. I've been, posting on social media as far as like reels and shorts and all this stuff. And I do this because I really feel like I have a call to do this, to share the voice, to share the word, and to be a voice for the Lord, that it doesn't feel like a chore. Like, I feel excited to do it. Like, I am excited to get on here. Like, the fact that I'm on this right now, taking a few minutes out of my day so that I can do this, even though I have my daughter with me, and I'm sacrificing other time where I could just be like watching TV while I'm waiting for, the next thing that my daughter and I have to do. Like, no, I'm like, I'm going to continue to do what God is calling me to do. He needs my consistency and my discipline. I need to self-sacrifice sometimes. I need to sacrifice my own little desires and things that I want to do, my laziness, my procrastination. Like, I have to give that up. I have to sacrifice that in order to do what I'm being called to do. And that's why I do it, because I feel so much for fulfillment doing the things that God is calling me to do. But in doing all of that, I also can't forget to take moments out of my day and pray. One thing that I'm working on, and today was like that conviction, is working on my prayer life. Because when I do pray more, I feel like I'm able to not get so ahead of myself. I have talked about this in the past. I wish I kept better track of my videos, but there's a video in the past where I talk about how I have grown up as a overachiever, like very type A, OCD, go-getter, like go, I gotta do the next thing, right? It is part of who I am, but it's also part of who I thought I had to be in order to feel worthy. And the Lord really taught me last year that he needs me to rest. And the Lord is telling you today, he needs you to rest, okay? If you relate to the words that I just said, the Lord wants you to rest. He wants you to rest in him. He will give you rest, right? He will take away your burdens. He will take away your anxieties. Oh my goodness, my sprinklers just started and that's probably going to make a ton of noise. Okay, whatever, we're going to do this. Yeah, hold on. I'm going to have to turn this off real quick so I can turn off my sprinklers. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is like real life, guys. We are going to do this. Like, there's a reason why there's all these interruptions, okay? Anyways. Okay, baby. So yeah, sorry, I have to like get back. But so the Lord really taught me, like, you need to rest, like you need to stop striving. Like, that stuff is great and you've accomplished so much. You're doing so much with your gifts, but don't think that you have to do all of that in order for me to love you, in order for me to care for you, in order for me to bless you, right? Charlie, sit down. And this is gonna be like like I feel there's a lot of squirrels right now, you know what I mean? Very squirrely because there's a bunch of stuff going on. But so you need to be able to slow down before your to-dos, before you continue. Like, every day out of your day, take a few moments to just slow down and pray and like give your burdens to God. Like, tell him about your day. Ask him, God, what would you like for me to do today? Empty me out of things that are mine so that you can fill me with the things that are yours. Help me to release the things that are in my hands and give them to you so that you may work through me. And in the following part of Joshua, here I put something else. I put, hearing from God before rushing into your day will remind you of his presence and remind you what he wants to do through and in you. That's literally what I just said. So then Joshua then instructs the Israelites of what the Lord has instructed. 12 men from the tribes of Israel were carrying the Ark of the Covenant and take steps into the water of the Jordan River. As soon as they did, the water would be cut off upstream and the river would stand up like a wall. Like, the miracle of God, right? His power. And I love how it said that during this time that this happened, it was like during a season of harvest. So the waters were like going, right? There was a lot of stuff going on right now where like the river was just flowing. And yet God used that time, not any other time, not like on a slow season, not when the waters were low. No, it was like in this time that God made it happen because he would be able to show his power. And he would get glory for the miracle that was about to happen. So I put, God gives specific instructions and requires our obedience to see his promises and miracles. What if these 12 priests had not been obedient or too afraid to take the first steps? Like, how many times has God given you an instruction and you've been too afraid to take the steps? Like, that's like a raise of hands, right? I literally made a video about this because we are often so afraid of taking first steps. And I love how in this, I think in reflection of what this new generation already knew, they knew that God had done a big miracle in the past in the Red Sea. And so now that they're literally right there by the promised land, they know all of the stories of how these other people were not able to go into the promised land because they were disobedient. And so now they were going to be obedient. Now they were going to do exactly what the Lord was calling them to do. And so they were going to take the first step, right? And in order to do that, they had to listen. They had to have the right, like, ear and time and space and stillness to be able to listen to what the Lord was calling them to do. And then they had to reflect on the past, reflect on the things that God had already done for them, to be reminded of how powerful and strong our Lord is. And with that, they were encouraged and they had hope that all they needed to do was take the steps and not be afraid. Do what God was calling them to do. So it says God sometimes won't provide a solution to our problems until we trust him and move with what he has called us to do. In obedience, take the first step. And then I wrote down what I mentioned earlier about the harvest season. It says, God's timing demonstrates his power. Witnessing a miracle serves as an encouragement that God is with us. What miracles have you seen? And so just with that, like, what miracles have you seen? I literally started with this video with the fact that I was blessed by somebody that sowed into this ministry. That to me is a miracle. It feels like God is parting the sea. It feels like God is giving me manna so that I may do the things that he's calling me to do. It feels like I can reflect on that and so many things in my past where God has been good and faithful. And the only thing that has been holding me back, or holding back the blessings of God, I should say, is me, right? It's us. We are too afraid and too disobedient and too distracted to be able to hear the instructions that the Lord is giving us to move forward. Stop allowing your own voice to be so distracting and so loud that you can't hear God's voice. He wants you to hear him so that you can be clear about the instructions, so that you may rest in him, find comfort in him, find courage in him and strength to be able to do the things that he's calling you to do. So I'm ending this with that, like that encouragement that, yes, it's great to have a vision. Yes, it's great to know that the promised land is coming, right? Like, yes, it's great to know that you have a word from God. It's great that you're taking action and taking steps and having that courage to take the first step, right? Because what is the alternative? To be stuck in where you are right now, to be disobedient and to never receive the blessings. Okay, great. But in doing the things that God is calling you to do, he's also calling us to be still. And that may just be having quiet time with him while you read the word. That may be just having literal stillness, getting on your hands, your knees, and just praying and asking God to be there with you, to be in his presence, right? To be able to hear the still small voice of him telling you his next steps for you. I pray that this encourages you. I pray that you allow God to speak to you and that you slow down and that you stop rushing and that you stop striving and you stop trying to just go, go, go. Don't let your own voice be so distracting that you don't get to hear his. We'll see you guys tomorrow.